this is update for June 27, 2022, day 124 of the war, end of the date update. Sorry for the late update. We'll try to I'll try to make them much earlier going forward. So let's start with strategic general situation overview. So the Czech Republic, which is one of the countries to the west of Ukraine and which was supporting Ukraine. So the prime minister there said that they exhausted stockpile of arms and their ability to help Ukraine with arms is diminishing significantly. On the other news, Lithuania, which we discussed many times right now. So it was attacked by Killnet, Russian hacker group, which is probably the FSB, KGB is standing behind it. So it's just a governmental sort of body that's designed to, do hacker attacks against the targets that they deem necessary. Then in Russia itself, the steel prices went down by 40%. Dropped. Then more important news in Germany. The large chemical producer BASF in Germany is on the verge of being closed due to the natural gas prices and sort of the lack of natural gas in the first place. So hopefully this helps to understand for those viewers that could not understand why Germany was sort of withholding or being kind of like hesitant with supplying weapons to Ukraine, is because of the essentially like this extremely large corporations in Germany that were dependent, they are still dependent on relatively cheap Russian natural gas. At this point, it looks like bridges burned anyways. So going forward, Germany probably will be supporting Ukraine with arms in more pronounced way. Let's put this way. At the same time, the situation there, it's definitely going to affect significantly German economy, and that definitely could be strong recession in Germany, no question about it. At the same time, prices for electricity jumped in Germany to 250 euros per megawatt hour, which is the largest number. This is largest price, highest price on record. Talking about the energy now, switching to US. The strategic petroleum reserve there dropped to the lowest level since 1986 and stands somewhere below 500 million barrels. So just for those who don't understand, the U.S. has large stockpile of oil just in case for sort of tough times. And U.S. has been selling. The U.S. government has been selling since the war started some amounts of that crude oil on the market in order to help bring crude oil prices down. As we can see, it doesn't really help, and the real answer is really allow drilling in the U.S. on the federal lands, and that's really where the answer is in the long term. Because as we saw in other news, that Saudi Arabia and I think UAE, or one of those Persian Gulf countries, they said that responded sort of to Europe and to US collectively, saying that they will not be able to increase output of crude oil, essentially. So the situation with crude oil is definitely difficult, the same as with natural gas. Now let's jump to the walk through the front line in a clockwise fashion, starting from the very north. And situation there, as heads up, is also very difficult. So first let's look at this situation along the state border. Continuation of artillery fire. Nothing new here. Now let's move south. Let's see what's going on east of Kharkiv. Here, basically, Ukrainian command pulled everything that they could, with exception of the 92nd Brigade, to Lysychansk area, essentially Popasna Lysychansk area, that peninsular. So that's what's happening here right now. Is the Russian side is using that as a moment to put pressure and increase the buffer. So today they were putting pressure alongside this road that we discussed as well yesterday. So this is essentially the same direction of the sort of kind of attack, but they did not have any success here. Situation is stable. The same goes true for this area where they also were trying to put pressure here to capture Stary Saltiv. Nothing new here. Now let's move south. Let's see what's going on here at the Izyum bridgehead. So situation here is stable as well. There's just a relatively lower intensity of attack here towards basically towards Dolyna and Krasnopilya. The Ukrainian troops managed to hold the line here. No changes here. So now let's jump to this Lysychansk salient. And let's see what's going on here. Situation here is extremely difficult for Ukrainian side. At this point, so you can see Russian troops managed to do a total blow to Ukrainian defenses here south of Lysychansk. So at this point, in our opinion, the wisest move is to pull out from Lysychansk, as we discussed before several days ago, and to establish new front line. It actually probably not bad idea to do it along this road here, and basically kind of create like then connect it to Bilohorivka. So essentially, this needs to be pulled out as soon as possible. Probably, this night should have been done. But in any case, the Ukrainian defenses collapse here pretty quickly. This is not good sign overall about the condition of Ukrainian troops. So this is not even sort of specifically, okay, Ukraine is about to lose Lysychansk. It's more about the probably morale of Ukrainian troops, that they don't see how they at their sort of from their sort of trenches how to stand to the Russian attacks, which using, again, as we discussed, artillery is the main driving force behind all of this, right? So heavy artillery fire, this tactical rockets, all of that, and that's what drives this result here. And other thing that we would like to point, that out of all of the long front line, Russian troops had to pull from everywhere to create this significant advantage, and they cannot replicate the same situation elsewhere. So what we trying to say in this way, that in order to, so the advantage is not sort of huge. It just Russian command is able to sort of pull resources from all other idle areas, and just push and concentrate them in one narrow section, and then just kind of like put all of that energy in one small section of the front line and break through that. And then once you break the wall, then you obviously can easily exploit, and you're gaining much more ground. So what we're trying to say is, if going back to the artillery discussion and all of those self-propelled howitzers that Ukraine got from Poland, Germany, from Netherlands, from France, if they were used wisely and properly, this is where they should be applied as a counter battery fire, and where they can start making difference by actually starting destroying Russian long-range artillery, which will immediately stop this drive here. Otherwise, if this is not done, this is gonna happen. It's like one domino after another. So this is gonna be happening more and more rapidly, because it also, in our opinion, affects morale, and that eventually may create sort of some kind of breakdown point where there will be significant retreat of Ukrainian troops. But this is where situation right now. As we said, Ukrainian troops really need to withdraw as soon as possible from here, because it's essentially this road, which was this was the road that used to be logistical kind of artery to supply Ukrainian troops in here. So at this point, it's that this is closed road, so they literally need to use the field roads here to be able to feed all of these troops here. So at this point, it's not going to be, in our opinion, it's not going to be possible in meaningful way, and it's almost like, think about the hand you cut off, you sort of you kind of like cut through the skin, and you cut the artery, and the blood starts to go out instead of feeding the hand, and so your hand becomes kind of anemic and you cannot do much with it. This is the same is happening right now with all of this Ukrainian troops in this area, so they should be pulled as soon as possible. Now let's actually look how this was happening, because the sort of progression was really quick. So you can see this was June 25th, right? So this is June 26th, yesterday. So there were small sort of kind of dents in Ukrainian defenses, and then this is what's happening. This small dents were turned over day into huge gaping hole in Ukrainian defenses. So okay, now this hopefully helps kind of give you perspective of how quickly this fell, and literally it fell essentially in one day on the 27th. So now let's move south to look what's going on in the southern section of Popasna salient. So Wagner mercenaries were attacking towards this village Vershina. It's unclear. They may have gained like a couple hundred meters. It's essentially really even impossible to show on the map. They made little tiny progress somewhere towards Vershina, but overall situation there is stable from sort of Ukrainian perspective. Now let's move south. Let's see what's going on west of Donetsk. Situation here is stable, for obvious reasons that Russian side pulled all of their resources from here to Popasna, Lysychansk area. So they continued weak attacks here towards New York, and here to sort of capture Avdiivka, but this attacks more sort of like a distraction. So Ukrainian side does not pull troops from here towards Lysychansk. So this is probably the role of these attacks at this point here. Now, if we look at the Zaporizhia front line, situation here is stable, on hold, positional defenses, exchange of artillery fire, and that's pretty much it. And this is again the same story. Everything, all resources being pulled from here towards Lysychansk Popasna area. Now let's jump quickly to Kherson bridgehead. Here again the same mirror situation to Zaporizhia front line. Situation is stable, artillery exchange of artillery fire, and essentially the statical situation overall. Actually, apologies to one of the viewers who I promised to review Wagner Group, kind of give comprehensive overview of it. I'm preparing those material, and as a heads up, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's video, I will do comprehensive overview of the Wagner Group. Thanks again for watching, and until tomorrow, bye bye.